Hello, welcome back to Freddy in the Shed, and we're up in the Radio Shack, and we have another incarnation of the ATS25 to have a look at in this video. I literally picked this up from UPS, and then I went on holiday and haven't even opened it. Seems to be very well packed. Yeah, very well packed. I should have a knife up here. Oh, there we go, we're in. So normally these things are sort of standalone units. I normally criticise them because of a lack of any instructions. Oh, just look at that, just saying that. So straight away, as I've opened the box, look at that. Look, it says user manual. This is the first time on any of these ATS25s I've got a user manual. So let's hope it's got some easy to follow illustrations in it. Quite excited to get a user manual. And look, there you go. That is pretty damn cool. Fantastic. I've been banging on about this probably, well, for the last two reviews. You're probably getting a bit bored of it, but look at that. There you go. That's an expanded view of the main screen. And that's brilliant. Everything, you won't be able to see it. It's a bit too small, but everything is explained. Finally. I haven't checked to see if it's Pidgin English, but I mean, that is brilliant. That is epic. Brilliant. Oh, there you go. So that's something you can sit down and have a look at with a cup of coffee, or, you know, fill up your vape tank or whatever's your fancy. Oh, there you go. Even says about the CB channels. Okay, don't want to bore you too much with that. That is brilliant. Absolutely well amazed with that. Oh, do we have a little polishing cloth? Because it is a touch screen, so we will need to keep the screen clean. I must say, they've packed it nice. Sometimes these just turn up with bubble wrap. But I have got it in a nice foam insert. And the price is about the same. It's not increased. It's about £75 for the radio, which isn't a bad price for a full sideband shortwave receiver. Let's have a little look down the side here. Okay, we have a little screen prodder. It is hard plastic. I've kind of got used to having one of these ones with a little bit of rubber on the end when you... I'm always a little bit worried about hitting that with a hard piece of plastic, but it's there. We've got a USB-C charging cable, and then we've got the silicone rubber feet that go on the radio. What else we got? Something jammed in the bottom. Yep, there we go. Standard BNC antenna. Oh, that feels nice. That is very nice and firm. Sometimes these get all floppy, but certainly the that's very nice and firm. So it's a pretty standard whip antenna. I mean, I'm going to guess it's about 70 centimetres, something like that. It's just to get you started, really, for the FM broadcast, and it will get some of the stronger shortwave stations. But really, you should use a long wire or a loop antenna, something like that, to get the best out of the radio. It's good that they supply that, obviously. And then we've got the radio itself, very nicely packed. Oh, and there we go. We've got one of these unpeeling moments, you know. Let's just rip that off. Oh, very nice. Just caught a little bit in the corner there. Oh, there we go. Yep, the screen is all nice and set in this radio. So there it is, the ATS25 Max-Decoder Ⅱ. Now, according to what I've just looked on the spec, and this is literally what I found out on the internet, main thing is the Bluetooth audio. Also has a bigger battery. The Max 1 had a 3000 mAh. They've updated that to 4000 mAh. This also supports LNA amplified antennas, and also high Z, large array, high impedance antennas. Oh, hang on a minute. Just thought I heard. Yeah, there's something. Yeah, there's something a bit loose going on in the inside there. I suspect it sounds a little bit like a loose screw has come loose, or might be a little bit of a blob of solder or something. I might have to go in and investigate that maybe at the end of the video. Hopefully that's not going to affect the performance of the radio. Seems to have the same large speaker, although I think these ones had a silver cone, like a sort of a voice coil cone. This one doesn't seem to have that. It says on the in the products page that it has as a secondary speaker for stereo. I'm not entirely sure how that works. Again, maybe at the end, if I go in and try and find out what was loose, we might have a look at the speaker, but generally you're going to use it on headphones anyway. Right, let me just put it down properly and then we can have a closer look. Everything on the front of the radio looks the same. It hasn't got the LED indicator lights that you get on the ATS25 amp. It's got a very nice feeling encoder. They have improved that rather well. It'd be nice actually if they put an indent on it, so you could whiz it round with your finger. Yeah, but that's absolutely fine. Same screen as before. So moving around to the back of the radio. So what we got here? So BNC antenna input. Do you know, I'd still like to see a 259 on that, but it is what it is. Headphone socket. Still on the back. I still think there's room to put it on the front. If you're going to use headphones, you don't want the cable trailing out at the back. It's not a biggie, but I think it can be easily done. Power on off, which we'll switch that on in a moment. Yeah, there's no medium wave and SSB switch anymore. It automatically does that. USB-C charging and download. Now you can update the firmware on these radios, and it has a built-in key for the firmware update. You don't have to purchase another key. It comes with version 4.1.7 and you can already update it to version 4.2. Maybe I'll do that on a future video. Nothing else to pay. Then we have a Wi-Fi antenna socket there. Didn't see a Wi-Fi antenna. Oh yeah, there it is. Sorry, that was me. There we go. It has a little built-in Wi-Fi antenna. Now, a couple of you asked me on the last video and I couldn't answer your question, but now I know. The Wi-Fi antenna is purely if you're going to do digital decoding, FT8 and things like that. So what that does, that logs onto the Wi-Fi, and that's for an internet timer, so it can sequence the radio with the data coming in and it can decode it. That's basically all it does. And there's the Bluetooth audio switch there, which I would imagine will enable pairing. So yeah, nothing's really changed on the back other than that Bluetooth switch. Let's switch it on then for the first time. There we go, is a start-up screen. So yeah, build 4.17, so we can update it. Yeah, very similar to the ATS25 amp. They've pretty much got this sorted out now. So let's see if we can actually choose different antenna inputs. It's greyed out, but it's normally about there. Yep, oh, there we go. So LNA for amplified, low noise antennas, high Z for large arrays with very high impedance. BT, that must be for the Bluetooth, and then a lock. And I assume if we have that switched off, it's just going to be 50 ohms, which will cover the extendable whip and also what you're going to plug in the back. Everything else looks the same, which is not a bad thing actually. There's your handbands. 11 meters, and again, I suppose it's not going to have FM, is it? Yeah, that's straight on there to AM, and that isn't adjustable mode. Yeah, lower sideband, upper sideband on CB. Yeah, no FM again, which is a shame. That's one thing I'd really like them to introduce, to to put FM onto CB. Radio are doing that now. Nice to see that we have the spectrum scope. Again, I'd like to be able to drag that waterfall down maybe and have it a bit bigger. And we should have the other modes if we touch it. Yep, there we go. So we have a kind of a white spectrum scope, the old-fashioned power meter, and then the retro one with the little dial, which I actually quite like that. I preferred that on the other radio. So yeah, that's quite nice to see. Volume there, just touch that, we can mute it. And yeah, it's a nice, it's got the nice feel that we had before. Scanning, of course, and this looks like the same. I haven't got an antenna connected, but that will scan across, and then it's a bit slow, but then that'll repeat scan. You can set the boundaries to what you want. Exit that. It does have memory settings, doesn't it? So memory there. This is where we would add those. So we add, okay, we could put the station name on there. So I could just put that as CB. Oh, that was a bit sensitive. CB. And there we go. That's now created number 1 CB. So yeah, that's pretty good. I mean, it's nice to be able to put those short memories in the radio. Yeah, very easy. So a quick look through the setup menu, and I'd like to put an antenna on it and actually listen to it. So RDS time, FM band on startup goes down to 64 megahertz. Save step, yep, that's fine. 24-hour format, yeah, next. Oh, here we are. So Bluetooth and also the Wi-Fi. So we're going to go back into this. I'm going to get my headphones in a bit, and we're going back. We'll switch on the Bluetooth, and we'll see how that works on pairing. And that's all the best ones. So there's a lot to choose in there. I think they've made that menu a lot easier as well. Anyway, I'm probably boring you on that. So I think what I'm going to do is we're going to connect an antenna, and then we'll just have a little flick round and see what the radio will pick up. Now, as far as bands go, frequency-wise, obviously on the we've got the FM. It tunes all the way down to 64 to 108. Long wave, 153 to 500. Medium wave, 520 to 1710. And then shortwave, 1730 up to 30 megahertz, AM and upper and lower sideband and CW. We've got an antenna connected now, just a standard one that's supplied. We're picking up some RDS here, telling us a little bit about the station. That's quite good. There it goes. So I think we're just going to, if I go to next, we can do just an up and down scan here. Just using the, yeah, just using there. So, yeah, typical sort of seek and scan. Also, if we go back, oh no, next, there it is, we can do a band scan. And this will just continually set the scan. You can adjust the ratio. We're on 1:1 at the moment, so you can expand this. You can also set the step rate as well. And there you go. So that, again, that's picked up the radio station. It gives you the RSSI in decibel, and also the signal to noise ratio there. So, and then once we're in this, we can now just scan along.
I have never ever. Oh God, there's something else I love about you. You've got it going.
And there we go. So let's just go back to this again. We had it on mute, didn't we? So back. So let's get the volume. Let's try this speaker, see if it sounds any better than the previous one.
So he does it and I don't. Oh gosh, everyone needs a Paul in their lives. Do you cook at home, Stephen?
I'm the Paul.
You are the Paul?
Yeah.
What have you made this week? Anything?
Oh, this week I've been a bit too busy. But no, I'll try my hand at anything. Although I had to say I was watching MasterChef the other night, and they were in one of those fancy.
Yeah, that sounds pretty good actually. That's got a bit more bass in it than the speaker on the other generation. So I think that is a slightly better quality speaker. I mean, it's still not a hi-fi, of course. It doesn't quite stand up to the Radio radios with the bass reflex port, but it's not bad.
Give them pink chicken, but they were fine.
Babatunde, what are you like at cooking?
I grill.
Grill.
Yeah, my wife is.
I think I can briefly I can say that I think Mr. Lai's speech was better centered on declaring and elaborating the new two-state theory, or we can say he's trying to make up some sort of a democratic Taiwan independence theory, which is completely revealing. Les conditions d'amusement, c'est tout simple. C'est un canon de ATS25 qui a peut-être 20 ans et plus, avec un petit microphone, la boîte ukrainienne avec un...
And this little stick fits in that indent quite nice, actually. There you go. By accident, I've discovered a new way to tune the radio.
Le courrier des auditeurs.
Amazing, beautiful ivory white porcelain. And my idea was to organize Chinese New Year in my village. I invited all interested potters all over the Netherlands, and I asked.
Just going to try and get the Bluetooth mode working now, and unfortunately it's not covered in the user manual, which is a bit of a shame. So I'm just going to do this blind then. So this is the menu screen, and switch on the Bluetooth mode. There we go. Now there's that switch on the back, and I assume that's to make it discoverable, I should think. I'm just playing by blind here. Let's exit, yep, save changes. I've got this Bluetooth speaker here, this old Bluetooth speaker that I'm currently going to use. So I'm going to make this discoverable.
Bluetooth mode.
So that's now, and I'm going to press that button in the back. See what happens. I think that's connected, so we try it on. Let's just set this to volume.
Then you can give your phone number if you feel safe to, because obviously you don't know much about these people.
That's fairly quiet. I think we have to turn it up on the speaker.
And who did you meet on this?
So I've done 2 or 3 Zooms with people who look much older, me included, because you usually put a lovely photo on.
Yeah.
And I've done 1 or 2 head heart conditions. To be anywhere in the UK.
Okay, let me zoom out a bit more.
Want to travel from Mansfield or wherever they were because their heart wouldn't take them.
So that has connected,
Didn't actually meet anybody.
but that's very, very quiet for some reason.
And he looked quite nice and craggy, so I said yes, a smile to him. He said,
I'm not entirely sure why that is so quiet.
actually over here now.
That's what they were really.
So we're going to compare the volume output on the speaker, Bluetooth speaker, compared to the radio speaker. So let's just set the volume.
Eventually, after 12 days of high-level
So that's number
negotiations,
50.
a form of words was agreed between Washington and Beijing.
Good morning. I'm pleased to be able to tell the American people that plans are underway to...
And that's 50 on the Bluetooth speaker.
From Hainan Island.
The Americans expressed regret for the death of the Chinese pilot and for landing on Hainan without...
And that's number 50 on the Bluetooth speaker, but there's a bit of hiss.
Both sides interpreted what became known as the letter of 2 sorries in the way that suited them. Neither wanted things to spin out of control.
I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to get my headphones, and I'm going to try my headphones and see if I can hear that hiss. It'd be hard to show that on camera, of course. Right, I'm just going to try my Bluetooth headphones. These are Seisner headphones. So I'll hold that button down there. So these are now searching. Press the Bluetooth button.
Change the international order and the international norm, make the world safe for...
Right, these have now connected. I'm going to plonk them on my ears, and I'll let you know. Right, so yeah, these have connected with without the hiss, but I know I've got hearing issues, but they're quite quiet. Let me just stick one on the microphone.
Opened up to be part of the multilateral world, or to withdraw, like the US.
So yeah, as far as Bluetooth goes, it's working, but my impression is that the output is fairly quiet. And on this speaker I got a little bit of a hiss, but like I say, trouble is my hearing isn't particularly brilliant, so it might be the volume might be okay, it might just be that I'm perceiving it as being a little bit quiet, but it certainly works anyway, and it's something that wasn't available on the ATS25 amp. I think overall, you know, what they're charging for these radios, just over £70. Yeah, I think they're pretty good value, really. They're nicely constructed. It's an all-metal casework with the printed PCB front and back. No problem with that. And the tuning's fine. It is digital tune, but I mean, everything is nowadays. The days of the old analog tuning on radios has long gone, unfortunately. This is what we're left with. So there was that little rattle, wasn't there, inside the radio when I first opened the box. I'm a little bit intrigued, just to see, for curiosity's sake, what's become loose inside the radio. And also I want to see the back of that new speaker and see, has it got a bigger magnet than the original. So I think what I'm going to do, just to end the video, take this downstairs, I'm just going to crack the top off and let's just see if we can find out what's got loose. So it's worth noting that this rattling, I mean, this is really just for entertainment purposes only. It didn't in any way affect the performance of the radio. Everything seemed to work. Just a little bit curious to find out what it is. Okay, let's see if we can take the top off here. And there we go. Okay, well, that speaker, it looks pretty much the same as the other one. It's got a very small voice magnet there, and it looks like it's hot glued onto the casework. So yeah, that's pretty much like the other one, wasn't it? Okay. So what is rattling in here? Just going to see if I can take the speaker out, that might be easier. There we go. Let's give it a good shake. Ah, there we go, something came out. Ah, there it is, look. I don't know if you can see that. Very, very tiny little screw. And yeah, I can see now that that's the front board there. Oh, sorry, off camera. It's just come out of that that mounting now. So yeah, very small manufacturing fault, isn't it, really? Nothing major. There you go. That's tightened up. It was that screw there. And that's all fixed. So yeah, when you look inside these nowadays, I mean, they are quite nicely made, really, for what they cost. Bearing in mind they're not all that expensive. Even the lithium-ion battery, it's quite firmly stuck onto the casework. Sometimes they do get a little bit loose, and it just plugs into the circuit board there. You could very easily replace that or even upgrade it if you wanted to. Same thing with the encoder. That's it's got its own separate board with a ribbon cable. Not that you should need to replace it. I've not had any problem with these encoders since they updated it. As the Wi-Fi goes into that sort of chip there for the data timer, And you've got that little board, little breakout board there, which I reckon that's probably the Bluetooth, to be perfectly honest. And a little bit curious. Let me just zoom in on that a sec. Right, hopefully you can see a bit more now. So I think that's the Bluetooth module, and it's got this printed screened antenna array. Can you see that? But it does have also a separate socket there for a Bluetooth antenna. So I'm wondering why they didn't just put a little bit of wire and run it round the case. And that would certainly improve the Bluetooth range. Again, if you're into modding, I'm sure you could just attach a piece of wire to that, and you might beef up the Bluetooth signal. Anyway, I'm going to stop the video here. Now I've ripped it apart, I'm going to put it all back together again. So that's the ATS Max-Decoder Ⅱ. Quite a nice little radio, really. If you're interested in looking into this further, there is a link in the description. You can go away and check it out. But as for always, there's the thumbs up, if you can see it on your recorder screen from Fred in the Shed. Thank you for your view time. Thanks for dropping by. If you get a second, just hit me a thumbs up down below before you go. I'd appreciate it. But as always, please, please, please look after each other for me. Stay safe. And of course, I'll catch you on the next one. Cheers, guys.